So let's begin by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright positions are visible for meditation. We think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap right overlapped with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. Try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning. Also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And begin to let go of attending to the outside world, letting go too of thoughts of the past, plans for the future. Concentrating your awareness just on the body and mind. Bringing that awareness into the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air that accompanies the in-breath and the out-breath, and the space around the opening of the nostrils. Breathing naturally, normally, just observing whatever sensations arise. Giving yourself the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and then without judgment or frustration, to lift your awareness up from those distractions and to place it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, we'll generate a broad and altruistic motivation for our time, recognizing that the purpose of these contemplations on the Lam Rim is so that we ourselves can attain the realizations that the Buddha had. The Buddha spent his life after showing the aspect of achieving enlightenment, traveling, and simply explaining what it was that he understood, the wisdom, the insights that he had uncovered, and their results in his own mind. Seeing those benefits, we ourselves develop the wish to follow in the footsteps of the Buddha, to put time and energy and effort into replicating those insights so that we develop the mind fully, and that we reach our highest potential. And we wish that in order to be able to use that for the benefit of others, thinking of their kindness, all of the benefits that we have received over beginningless past lives, thinking even enlightenment itself is entirely due to the kindness of others, the field of sentient beings with whom we practice patience, loving kindness, compassion, generosity, ethical restraint. And these kind other sentient beings suffer again and again without choice. And it's due to our own compassion, our own loving kindness, that we wish to relieve them of suffering, to install them in a state of perfect happiness, perfect peace, which is only possible through replicating the insights of the Buddha in our own mind. So we take that as the purpose of our time. And then with that motivation, we will continue our exploration of the Buddha's ethical teachings, the 10 non-virtuous actions, the actions of body, speech, and mind that sow the seeds of our own suffering and immediately cause suffering for others, seeing them as ways of noticing the arising of afflicted states of mind, as all of these known virtues are rooted in attachment, aversion, ignorance. So we'll begin to think about non virtues with our speech. So the first non virtue of speech is to lie. So in order to lie, we must clearly know the truth, and we must be intentionally representing that which we know to be untrue. So we must be unmistaken with regard to the object. we must communicate that intentional untruth to someone else, another sentient being who is able to understand what we're saying or communicating. And the goal, the intent, is to deceive them, to cause them to believe something that we know isn't true. And if we think in our own lives when we've engaged in this, we are often trying to manipulate others, wanting them to believe a certain thing in order that we receive something. We receive perhaps protection from judgment. We receive a higher status, a better reputation, or we receive some material good. So think of when you yourself have been motivated to deceive, noticing the self centered attitude that arises. And it is that self centered attitude that we're trying to overcome. And trying to develop an insight into the harm that this impulse to be deceptive causes, a lack of trust, a distance that arises in our relationships when we're not perceived as honest, trustworthy, straightforward. the familiarity in the mind of being manipulative, deceptive. Clearly identify that in your mind as negative and generate the strong wish to be separated from that tendency. The next negative karma of our speech is divisive speech. And divisive speech is something that we engage in when there are two or more people that we're relating to who perhaps have a harmonious relationship, or even if they are somewhat estranged. If we intend to deepen or create division between them, using our speech to set one person against another or one group against another, then we've engaged in divisive speech. The intention is to foster disunity among people. The content of our speech could be true or untrue. It's the motivation of wishing, desiring to create disharmony or to prevent reconciliation. Again, think of times in your own life when perhaps due to jealousy or anger, you intended to disrupt harmony between people, or you intended to deepen disharmony, preventing it from healing. And again, see this action as another way that the self centered mind is manipulating others, trying to achieve some personal objective, even at the expense of other people's lives. And see whatever tendency, whatever habit you may have, whatever impulse to create that disunity, to see it as negative, as something to be discarded, and strongly give rise to the aspiration to be completely separated from that impulse. And the third non virtue of our speech is harsh speech. When we speak insultingly, abusively, raising our voice in anger, this can be another way of manipulating others to cause them to shrink back, to wound them with our speech. Think of times when you've lost control of your speech in this way due to the arising of these strong negative states of mind, habituation to anger. Noticing the incredible harm to oneself and to others that arises by energizing this impulse again and again. See it clearly as that which is to be discarded, that which is incompatible with the wish to grow in a spiritual direction. And be strongly determined to watch your speech, to try to prevent using it to harm others. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate to recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in your mind. And think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy for the benefit of all sentient beings, without exception. Thinking strongly when this positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment so that I might work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's on life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment.